What does filmed for IMAX mean? It isn't just a movie that'll look great on IMAX's screens. It means that hiding from a sandstorm feels like fear in every flicker. And every triumph is felt in every sound wave. And the things we've only imagined, you can truly experience those too. That's what filmed for IMAX means. Get tickets to experience Dune Part 2 now and IMAX's exclusive expanded aspect ratio.
Entering the world of Crisis on Infinite Films, brought to you by All Too Real 2 Podcast.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is
Sesame, Ivy, and Carta.
That's a great name.
Thank you.
It's very on brand.
It is. I think so.
I don't know what that means, but
I guess I have a brand.
Yes. You should. We should start selling Sesame and Carta encyclopedias. And
yeah. And it's just like nothing but like transcripts of our reviews into like a book format.
We're just gonna print out Wikipedia, and no.
Yeah, and we'll call it Encarta. You know,
we'll print out all of it.
All of Wikipedia. Yeah.
You know how many pages that would be?
Pages.
Probably reach from here to like Pluto or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, which, we could see with a nice little, observatory in Gotham City.
Ooh, nice segue.
Yes. I did appreciate that. I thought it was a good one. I think if there's an award for best segues on a podcast, I should win it.
Yeah, I think so.
But then we discussed the segue, so I think we ruined it now.
Oh, well, that's fine.
But anyways, today on the show we are covering the 1997 film Batman and Robin. This was released in theaters.
Yep.
And people saw it.
I did.
Yeah.
In fact, so.
Yeah. Initial thoughts here, Sesame.
Oh wow. All right. So watching the movie, did not like it very much. Thought it was kind of funny to laugh at times because of how corny it was. But when I was doing some research, I was reading articles about it and just getting other people's perspectives, and it actually kind of made me appreciate the movie within the context that actually came out. So now I'm looking at it from the lens of the articles that I read, not the movie that I actually saw, which I hated when it came out. I saw it with two friends, and this was and again, context is important. So I was 12 years old when I saw Batman Forever, and I loved it. Even watching it over time, like years later, did not like it very much. But at the time, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And then, so 1997 comes out 2 years later. So I'm 14 now. I go see it with same two friends that I saw Batman Forever with. This time it was just us. Because before that, my parents were there, so it was like a family thing.
Yeah.
But this was like, oh, it's just me and my friends now. Like we're growing up and we're doing things by ourselves, and this is like the first thing we're gonna do that's gonna like help us push us into like our, young adult lives, and then it's this movie that launches us, in a way it kind of grows our development, if you will.
So, some people's, journey into adulthood is like a bar mitzvah,
Yeah.
or like joining the military, or going to college or something. Yours was seeing Batman and Robin.
That was the first thing, yes.
Okay.
It kind of froze me, sort of not mentally, but emotionally, developmentally, if that, well, that makes sense. But whatever. There's too many emotionally, developmentally. There's too many E's at the end of word. But yeah, we hated it. I mean, it was my friend Scott, Dan, and like at first it was one of those things where like um we thought it was like a joke, and like then like the real movie was gonna like come in. Like we thought, oh, maybe they're just kind of doing like an homage, to like the 1960s TV show. But then
You thought
then
this
the movie.
you thought this just a few minutes into the movie, not like after the 2 hours of the film, right?
Oh no, no,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
If
cool.
you
Just making sure.
thinking like, yeah, it's just like a, then we're gonna get to like the real movie, and it's gonna be kind of dark, or or at least a little bit of campy, but not overdone. Because like for example, so like when Metallica came out with Saint Anger in 2003,
Yeah.
same thing happened. Both my brother and I bought copies together, and we put one of them in the CD player in the car, and we're listening to the first song, and we're like, okay, this sounds kind of weird. Maybe it's just like the intro, and then like a minute, two goes into it, like, okay, like this is a really long intro for the song to actually like get into like a Metallica song, and then like, all right, like the whole song goes by, like, okay, I guess this is just how it sounds like now, and it was like every song, like, all right, this is the album. Apparently, it sucks, but this is what it is. So
That's
so
very
that was
much
like,
that's very much how I felt with Justin Bieber's second album.
yeah, well,
I'm just joking. I have no idea
what you
what
got
his
to do.
second
I mean,
album
you
is.
got the first album was great. Sometimes you go out on a high note, and it just like just like Michael, what's the dude, Tubular Bells, that dude, I forgot his name, uh the guy who wrote Tubular Bells, that was played Exorcist, like that was like his first album, and then like he could never top it, so he just like went crazy because he was like 18 years old when he wrote it and everything. He's like, damn it, I can't. So that's kind of how I felt with seeing this. I was like, oh god, this is starting my adolescence. And then it's this piece of shit movie. So I watched it again Saturday, and I didn't hate it. I just was laughing at it. I thought it was stupid, but I didn't actually hate it. Then I started reading those articles, and I was like, oh well, I can actually now sort of like actually appreciate the like what it was like. It was trying to be like that. Like it wasn't. See, I had the impression that like this was all a mistake. Like it just turned out this way. Like that they wanted it to be like Batman Returns, like with Catwoman, and because
Yeah.
that's like that's a brilliant movie. Like it's very dark. It's very,
Hmm.
but it's still jokey in its own way. So it kind of just has this. It kind of creates this really good balance between those two things. So I had always assumed that this movie was not supposed to be as stupid as it was, until I realized no, there's no way this was an accident. Like this
No.
was like, so I was like, okay, now I can appreciate that this is how it was. And the other thing too, sorry, I'm not
Oh
trying
no,
to
keep
ramble.
going.
The other thing too is that, so at the time I didn't really understand the concept of like a movie series. Like I thought these were all standalone Batman films. Like I didn't know that they were supposed to be
Connected.
like part of one big series. But then at the same time, it did feel like each standalone Batman film was so weird and different from the other. So I was like really confused about like what was going on, because he had three different actors playing Batman in four movies.
Yeah.
And so I thought these were all standalone films. If I had known that they were supposed to be a series, I probably actually would have been more confused than I already was when I first saw
Yeah,
it.
I mean, the thing is, it's kind of like, I mean, they are standalone, but in a series at the same time, because you don't have to necessarily have watched the other three to know that who Batman and Robin are, and kind of, know they're the good guys, sort of thing. It's kind of like James Bond movies. You don't really have to see Dr. No to understand From Russia with Love or something,
Yeah.
Yeah. But, if you're a purist, you need to watch them all. No.
Yeah, you gotta watch every episode. Or like what channel? I forgot what app has all the Doctor Who episodes, like
Yeah.
series. I go because I never really got into Doctor Who, but like
Yeah.
for some reason I've gotten an itch lately, and I want to just go through like the whole thing from like the beginning. Like,
Yeah. Do you want to go back to the 60s, or do you want to go?
oh yeah,
okay.
I'm talking like the earliest. Yeah,
there are a lot of missing episodes though from the early series. So
well, I'll do the best I can. I mean, yeah,
yeah, because they weren't saving things like they do now, So yeah,
right. It gets aired on TV, and they just
there was it aired once, and they didn't really give a shit anymore after that.
Right.
Because a lot of things, I mean, are a lot of early television aired live too. Not that did, but prior to I Love Lucy and Honeymooners and stuff like that, like sitcoms that aired in the United States and in Great Britain aired once live, and until they created Kinescope, you didn't really ever see them again. And that was where they just basically put a film camera in front of a monitor while the thing was being performed.
Oh wow!
And recorded that, and then they could air it in Los Angeles after it aired in New York or whatever. So, yeah, they'd have to ship it out there. It might be in early TV. I think sometimes if a TV show aired on a Monday, you didn't get to see it until Wednesday if you lived in the West Coast or something. Sometimes, so
wow,
yeah. And most TV was broadcast out of New York at that time. But yeah. But anyways, I don't know where we got on that. But but yeah, it's the movie. It was good. I mean, I loved Batman 1989. It's brilliant. Probably one of the best superhero films ever made. The Batman Returns is a unique animal all of its own. It's good. I won't say it's better than 89. That's just my own personal opinion, but I like it. Batman Forever was decent, but I mean there was issues where when Batman Returns came out, for some odd reason, even though the first movie was really dark, people thought the second one was too dark. And they were upset that they took their kids to see it. So the studio basically forced the hand of getting Tim Burton out of the director's chair. He was still a producer on Batman Forever. Brought in Joel Schumacher, who was a big fan of the Adam West TV series. And the more colorful 60s comic books of Batman. And so he brought this whole cartoon aspect to it. And that's what he was going for with it. But Batman Forever still had a heart to it and a deep psychological story to it and everything. Mm-hmm. And I think Batman Forever is actually a good movie. Then there was 3 years in between Batman 89 and then Batman Returns came out in 92. And then there was 95 is when Batman Forever came out. So you had a nice 3 years in between to develop things and before you had to release it. Then you have, they rushed it to 97. So it was they all came out in June each year.
Okay.
So you have June of 95 till June of 97, where is in between the two movies. It was almost too soon, and they made the toys before the script was finished.
Of course.
So they basically wrote the script to the toys. So it's what they call a toyetic film. So,
yeah, I mean, kind of what we were talking about last time with
Master of the Universe was basically a toyetic television series. Yeah,
especially the Christmas episode. It was just so many characters,
yeah. And so yeah, it's basically a 2-hour toy commercial is basically what Batman and Robin is.
I mean, that's what it feels like. literally just from the style of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten into the actual story yet, but I think most people have probably seen it.
Yeah, but we can. I mean, this is just my initial reaction to the movie and kind of explaining why the lens I'm looking at the movie through, and that I understood this. Like when it came out, I was in my late teens. Um, so I knew basically what to expect. I wasn't expecting a good movie. Like when I saw Batman Forever, I saw that in theaters and I was blown away in theaters by it. At the time, it's not, doesn't really hold up necessarily. But this just kind of let me down when I saw this. I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters, but I don't remember, or if I saw it when it first came out on VHS or whatever at the time. So yeah, I don't know, but it was bad. But
especially at the time, it was a
yeah,
letdown. Yeah.
oh yeah, and I listening to the audio commentary with Joel Schumacher on the box set I have of this.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Joel Schumacher.
Yeah.
Who supposedly slept with 20,000 people.
Wow.
That's what he claimed.
I doubt that's true, but
I know. I don't know when he had time to direct movies, but
yeah. All right, so 20. So just
yeah.
sorry, I don't mean to. But so 10,000 days is about 30 years.
Yeah.
So that means that. How old was he when he died? Like how old he was?
Let me see here. He was 80 when he died.
Okay, so that means that if he lost his virginity at age 20,
yeah,
and I'm just going by that. That means that he would have to have sex with one person, a different person, mind you, once a day for 60 years.
Yep.
We're not talking about the same person multiple times. We're talking about
he said 20,000. He said 20,000 people.
I don't believe
he was a gay. He was a gay man, but he did, according to him, have sex with multiple women as well.
I don't even think there was even 20,000 gay people in the United States at that time.
Yeah, but some of them were women that he had. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, but even so, that's one person, unique person, a day. Not unique as in their personality traits or their body, just unique, a different person every day. And if he's saying like multiple times a day, like you said, then how has he had time to write or direct movies during this time? So,
I mean, I guess I guess if he has like a Rolodex of 20,000 people that just make a schedule for the next 60 years, and
I guess, but it just seems, I don't believe him.
but anywho, he on the audio commentary for the movie, it's practically him for 2 hours apologizing.
Yeah,
which is good. I mean, I don't think all the blame should be put on him. Some of it should be on the writing, obviously, with Akiva Goldsman, but and some of it on the acting and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's like he said about it in interviews from time to time. He says when something goes great, we should all take the credit for it. But when something goes bad, it should all fall on the director.
Okay.
Which is actually the way you should look at things. Because you're the person in charge. And if things are going good, you want to give credit to those people that are going well. But if things are going bad, it's kind of your fault because you hired the wrong people, you didn't direct them in the right way, whatever it was, So it kind of falls on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I agree with him. With that said, any of my movies that are bad, it's everybody else's fault. I'm just joking. That was sarcasm, folks. Don't take it.
That was great.
Yeah. So what's happening here in this movie?
Oh God. Well, so we got this funny little thing going on where it shows like almost immediately after the title sequence, we get Batman and Robin suiting up, and like the camera zooms in on their butts with their leather pants for some reason. There's like a funny little thing, and then like
and their nipple chests.
that's right, that too. And their suits are very like just like interesting looking and
form fitting. Yeah.
yeah, and they're in their vehicles. Robin's immediately complaining that he doesn't have his own car, that he just has a motorcycle, all that, etc.
I want to point out something too.
Oh, sure.
In this series of Batman movies, this is the first Batmobile that is only a one-seater.
Oh wow!
In a movie called Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he had a passenger seat that he barely used in the other movies. But now he has a Batmobile without a passenger seat when he could actually use it for his sidekick or partner.
So you could almost say that Batman was icing out Robin.
Oh wait, is that a pun?
Yes, it is. And this movie's full of ice.
Oh my gosh. I never noticed that. No.
Yeah. So he gets his bullshit motorcycle, which is not nearly as cool as the Batmobile. Alfred is telling them like who they're going up against, and this guy named Mr. Freeze calls himself Mr. Freeze. By the way, his actual name was Freeze as an Fries.
Yeah.
So they have to be very literal.
Dr. Victor Freeze. In the comic books, he was originally Mr. Zero.
Okay, well,
Mr. Freeze sounds
like
better.
Yeah. This Mr. Freeze reminds me of a ice cream shop in Holland, Ohio, I think.
I'm pretty sure it was named after the character. So.
Oh, was it? Okay,
yeah.
And so whatever, yeah. But so that's what I reminded of. So he's trying to steal some like diamond and like a museum, I guess, and
yeah, because he has this condition where he has to be kept at a certain temperature. That's why he's called Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
And the suit that keeps him at that temperature is for some reason, never explained, powered by diamonds.
Yeah, there's literally no explanation for that whatsoever. That the diamonds, so he needs like this really big one to like basically finish his collection that he needs to basically help us find a cure for his wife that he's got frozen in sort of like a
cryogenic.
Water. I don't know, weird, because water, not frozen. I don't know how that works, but whatever. And then
yeah, and she's got something called McGregor's syndrome.
Yeah,
which comes in is a big plot point in this movie. So yeah.
Yeah, and she's got like the worst stage of it or whatever. And then he was able to cure stage 1, but not the stage that she's at, which is like 3. I don't remember the exact number. But and so like he's like one of the he's got like the villain with like a point type of thing. Like he's not like Bane. Well, speaking of Bane, we'll get into that later. But
yeah, this version of Bane is
nowhere near the cool Tom Hardy. Yeah, not the cool Tom Hardy version from Dark Knight Rises. I was actually kind of pissed when I was watching this when I found out that was Bane. I was like, "Don't you fucking dare!"
Oh yeah,
do Bane this way. I didn't remember, honestly, when I was watching this. I did not even remember him as a character. I remember Poison Ivy, which I accidentally switched her over into Batman Forever for some reason.
Yeah, she was supposed to be in that script originally.
Okay.
Originally, Schumacher wanted her in that, but didn't. I know too much about Batman. I shouldn't know this stuff.
No, it's fine.
So, yeah. I'm just saying there's better uses for my brain, but somehow I know this shit.
Yeah, but if what you enjoy. I mean,
yeah, I know.
But yeah, for some reason in my mind, I was placing her working alongside with the Riddler, baby, because he wore a green suit.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But no, she was in this one. But anyway, that's jumping ahead. But like, so they're like playing hockey on the ice because he's got like this sort of like freeze gun that he can shoot ice out of, and he kills people with, or at least freezes them and whatever.
Yeah, my thing here, okay, about the henchmen. I always question in some of these comic book movies and animated shows and stuff like that, and some of the Arrowverse even. It's like you get these henchmen, and you know, like, what's the process of getting these guys together? Like,
Yeah.
did he find a hockey team and then convince them to be his henchmen?
Maybe.
And then be like, okay, so you're not going to be able to wear your normal clothing. You're going to have to wear this, like, you know, ice related clothing. Just like in the first Batman, the Joker's group of people are all dressed up like clowns, and Penguin, the people are all, you know, he's got like penguins as hench people, actually, real penguins.
Yeah, it's actual
and
penguin.
yeah, and you know, and then, you know, like, and you know, you got crazy looking people with the Riddler and Two-Face and stuff, and it's just like
you gotta really make sure that you understand who the villains are and who their henchmen are, because you know it would make too much sense for them and to be able to blend in with mainstream society, so that way they can attack without people noticing.
I just wonder, is there like a you know, I mean, I know this was like probably pre, you know, internet being big, but is there like a Indeed.com that's just for hench people?
It might be like a catalog, you know, like, but like a catalog you can only get from like the CD Underground, like, you know, like of criminals. Like, oh, I got a guy who shows me how to find other guys, you know. You know, I got a guy who finds me guys, you know, not in that way necessarily, but like, you know, well, maybe in that way, but like
it's like, you know, when Mr. Freeze goes on to WTF with Mark Maron, he's like, who's your guys? You know, who'd you start?
Yeah. And it's like, it's my henchmen who can play hockey very well for some reason. Professionals, they're hitting this thing like it's an ice puck, you know, and for some reason he shoots his own henchmen at times. I don't understand. But like, anyways, he shoots Robin, and I swear to God, this ice looked like it was plastic. Like, I mean, and then like Batman just thaws him into boiling water, which I would think would actually be like make his body go into shock, actually.
Oh,
because not supposed to put ice into boiling water, you fucking moron.
And I'm pretty sure after he was frozen like that, he would be dead already. But that's
it would have been, because Bruce Wayne's supposed to be like super smart, and he thinks to himself, "Oh, I'm gonna throw a huge lump of ice the size of a human body into like a huge pool of boiling liquid." Whatever, fine. That's again, suspension of disbelief. It's important.
Yeah. Oh no, he threw it in there, and then he made it boiling after Robin was in there.
Yeah, but it was like right after.
Yeah, I know. It's just
like, I mean, yeah, it was like 2 seconds later. But like, and that's the other thing too, is like how. So that was my first thought actually in the whole beginning of the movie, because I was like really trying to come up with things to be critical about, and that was the first thing was, all right, so they don't even know who they're up against yet until Alfred tells them when Batman's driving the Batmobile. And then so they're at the museum, and they're, you know, like, you know, Batman's actually like trying to like make sure that none of the things are broken because he cares about like history or whatever. Okay. And then like Batman like activates their shoes to like have ice skates. Well, what? So did he just like anticipate that at some point in time he might be up against like a ice villain? Like, that seems weird. Like, you know, like, I don't know. That to me, that seemed. I mean, maybe he's just he's got a sense of over preparedness as Batman, maybe. Yeah. But not only that though, also the liquid of boiling water. How would he know to have that as an option, just in case someone would be frozen? You know, I mean, again, maybe Batman just prepares for everything, but he does not prepare apparently for pheromones that allow him to be infatuated with feminine wiles. So that brings us to Poison Ivy.
Yeah, we go to this Wayne Enterprises lab in Brazil, and there's a Dr. Pamela Isley. She's working under this like mad scientist, Dr. Jason Woodrow. Pamela Isley is played by Uma Thurman, who is like, I had a huge crush on at this time.
Me too.
And Jason Woodrow is played by John Glover, who, by the way, was also recently in Shazam, another DC product.
Oh.
He was also in an episode of the TV show Lucifer, another DC product. He was in Marvel's Agent Carter, which is a Marvel show, but he was also Lionel Luthor on Smallville. as well as the voice of Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler, on Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and the new Batman Adventures.
Wow, so he's like a DC guy then.
Yeah, basically.
Well, so who did he play in Shazam?
In Shazam, he plays the character's name is Mr. Savannah. He's the dad of the main villain in that movie.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, he gets killed by the seven deadly sins and stuff, and yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He was he was like an asshole to his son, like, you know.
Yeah, he was kind of. Mm-hmm. He was, him and his brother were like total dicks.
Yeah.
To him.
But yeah, but he's most well known for, you know, in the DC world as Lionel Luthor on, you know, several seasons of Smallville, as that Lionel being Lex's dad. So yeah.
Okay.
I need to watch that show sometime. I've only seen so many episodes. So boy. But anyways, back to the show or the movie. We've got basically Woodrow is trying to do this research where he comes up with an interesting thing where he comes up with a super soldier serum, which is completely Marvel.
Yes.
And a drug called Venom, which is completely Marvel.
Yes. And I noticed that too.
Yeah. To create like these super soldiers. And he takes this former serial killer named Antonio Dago. Bane never has a name in the comic books, though, so just letting you know. This was just for the movie, at least at this point. He basically, this, you know, the serial killer is like a, you know, real skinny, pencil-thin guy, and he gives him this serum, and he bulks him up, and he's being played by, at that point, by Jeep Swenson, who's a sadly passed away wrestler at the time. So, you know, it's like big dude. So and unlike in the comic books where Bane is really intelligent, he's like dumb as a box of rocks here. So yeah,
he could like only repeat one word like a command that's told to him.
I don't know. If you want to see a good Bane, watch you know, Dark Knight Rises.
Totally. I mean, come on.
Gotham City. So he, anyways, she oversees all this stuff, and she threatens to expose him, and then he attempts to kill her by overturning this like shelf of like a bunch of chemicals and shit, and she's doused in these chemicals and is mutated into poison ivy, and then she kisses Woodrow and kills him with her kiss.
Yeah, because they're lit by the venom.
And when she sees things down, she picks up one of the beakers, and it says Wayne Industries on it or whatever, Enterprises, and so then she puts two and two together and decides to go to Gotham.
Yeah, because when I was doing like, you know, chemistry like in school, we always had like a thing where it said like the name of the company on the beaker, like.
Oh yeah. Just like, you know, just like a Coke bottle, it just is right there. You know, it's always like.
But like when it comes to chemistry and beakers, like what you don't want to do is to like make sure that you can measure things correctly, because nothing would go wrong ever.
Yeah.
If you measure correctly, and having a big logo.
Mm-hmm.
And the spots of the beakers where normally you would have like, you know, a number of ounces. Yeah, who cares? You just wing it, you know. Just, you know.
In my chemistry class, we used to bring in like street thugs to like put graffiti all over our beakers.
Oh yeah, true. You know, I mean, obviously, I mean, come on. I mean, and like that's the other thing too. So it's like the dude literally had his door unlocked, and it's like she could just walk in and witness like him trying basically to sell. So human trafficking is involved in this film.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, he's trying to sell the super soldier.
So like foreign governments, you know, that, you know, want to have, you know, like there's, you know, stereotypical Arab guy, of course, you know, and like, you know, he's wearing like a not a turban, I forgot the name of it. Like basically it looks like a Saudi Arabian or maybe Qatari or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
And then you got other people, like got a guy with like an eye patch. It looks like maybe he's supposed to be Russian. I don't
basically
know.
your stereotypical '90s bad guys.
Yeah, you know that whole thing. So you know, but like you know, so he knows enough to like have like these foreign dignitaries where he's having like secret, you know, illegal, you know, deal going on, but he forgot to lock the door. But I guess since he's a mad scientist, maybe that tracks a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
And you know, like you remember to do some things, but that are super important, and you forget to do something.
I know every time I've sold something to a foreign dictator, I've locked the doors.
Yeah, I mean that's just good practice, you know.
Yeah,
It's just good OPSEC, you know. And
I mean
but
by the way, I mean all I sold them was like a drawing I made of a nuclear bomb. I mean of a flower.
oh, it wasn't like one of Trump's classified documents that were just laying around like his Mar-a-Lago or anything
No,
like
no,
that.
no. It was these NFTs for the low price of $99.
Yeah, yes, right. Or the NFTs that were also stolen from other art
Uh-huh.
that they
Yeah.
it's based on. Yes, which of course that's just a typical Trump move right there. I love that. When I heard about that, I'm like, of course he stole the art.
Hmm.
Like I didn't expect anything less, you know. But anyway, so he's like he's going around again human trafficking, and it puts too. We have like an interesting conversation here, which was not at all intended for the movie, but I took it as such, where he gets a serial killer, and so it becomes one of these things of like, oh well, we could just experiment on anyone who's bad, you know, who cares? They're not human beings,
No,
right? You
it's
know,
like the slave labor
like
in the prison industry. I mean,
right.
yeah.
So this guy is a serial killer, so it's okay if we pump his brain full of like extremely painful
Yeah.
liquid, you know, in a mask, so he can't escape, and he's just writhing in pain until you know he turns into this quote super soldier, which again is the Marvel thing. But you know, but Captain America is cool and can actually talk and do things, not just wear a bullshit top hat as he's driving around poison ivy in a fucking limousine. But anyway,
The best
so
disguise ever.
oh, totally. I mean, I would totally believe that. And she's like, drive. He's like, drive. You know. And anyway, so which is interesting because Bane in both Batman movies is basically subservient to a female character. I don't know if that was intentional.
Oh yeah.
You know, probably not. But
I don't
like it
know.
was, because I mean, at least with Dark Knight Rises, he wasn't really subservient. It was more of like a friendship love kind of thing going on, but with this one it's just he's like completely
Yeah.
moron. He doesn't really understand anything except for following simple commands.
So
But
so after we're introduced to two of our last two bad guys,
yeah,
we get a situation going on back in Gotham where we meet Barbara Wilson, Alfred's niece, from who's back from Great Britain at the Oxbridge Academy where she goes to school.
has a completely American accent.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm just like trying to figure that out. Her parents are British, her uncle's British. She goes to a British academy. American accent.
Maybe she spends most of the time in America though, and only goes to school. No, that would still be 9 months in Britain and 3 months in America. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you would at least pick up a little bit because I have a friend, you know, who has lived in Britain for a long time, and you know, she came back to visit, you know, a long time ago, like almost 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and like I could hear like a little bit of a British accent from her for being there for like 3 years at that point or something like that. You know?
Yeah, but
Shading with people, you know.
it happens, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But then again, there are people that were raised in both Britain and America who do like almost like a code switching sort of thing, if you want to call it that, from one accent to the other. Like
Yeah.
The chick from X-Files, Gillian Anderson, that's her name. Yeah, she's both American and British. Like one of her parents is American, the other one's British. She goes in and out of the accents.
I went to school with two siblings And I don't know if they were twins or not, but I went to school with both of them, and yeah, their mother was British, and their father was American, and like they had like almost like a half and half accent, like Midwestern, Ohio accent and British accent,
Yeah.
and sounded very unique. It was interesting.
Yeah, because it's really weird. Like if you watch interviews with Gillian Anderson, I know this is off topic a little bit, but you watch interviews of her on the BBC, completely British accent when she's talking to the interviewers. Watch her on like old episodes of like the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, completely an American accent.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe back then it was like seeing it. Well, I don't really know. I don't really think there was that much prejudice against British people, but I
No,
don't
I
know.
know, I don't know. But even like recently, like if you see her on like it's really weird when you see her like I swear I saw like an interview with her on James Corden, who is British, where she had an American accent because the show's in America.
Maybe it's just out of habit,
Yeah,
at this point.
but it was just really weird. I'll have to do more research into that. Maybe we can talk about that in a future episode. But for right now, so anyways, we've got Barbara Wilson showing up for a surprise visit. She's invited by Bruce, who, by the way, is George Clooney in this movie.
Yeah, of course.
And Alicia Silverstone is playing Barbara, who for some reason in this movie is Alfred's niece instead of being Commissioner Gordon's daughter.
Yeah,
like in every other incarnation of the character. But yeah. At least most incarnations. So it works for the story purposes, but it's different. It does. Yeah. So she's invited to stay at the mansion and until she goes back to school. While this is going on, we also have Wayne Enterprises is presenting a new telescope for the Gotham Observatory. And there's like this big press conference where Poison Ivy interrupts it. And as in her Pamela Isley appearance.
Yeah, she had to dress like her old self. Basically.
And she proposes a project to Bruce that he declines about, like, basically it would kill millions of people but save the planet. Yes.
So she's basically an eco-fascist.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, he's like, yeah, I don't think so. While that's going on, Batman and Robin decide that they're going to lure Freeze out using a family diamond and diamonds and present them at this Wayne Enterprises charity event. And
by endangering everyone who goes there.
Yes.
Great, good job there, Bruce.
Uh-huh.
That's just like great plan. Let's like endanger innocent life. Well, maybe not innocent, but whatever.
Yeah. At least the elite people that can afford to go to this charity thing. But
right.
It's like anyways, Ivy attends this event. First dressed up like a big gorilla.
Yes.
And then dances to the song Poison Ivy.
Of course.
Yeah. And
that'd be on the nose,
Yeah, and mesmerizes like all the people, all the men there especially. Yeah, and then Mr. Freeze comes in, crashes the party like they planned, but he's defeated and detained and sent to Arkham Asylum. Yeah. And when Ivy sees him, she takes an interest in him and like is like now, all cold and bothered for him.
Ooh. I like that.
Yeah. I'm great with puns.
It's It's good. That's the other thing too. So like you mentioned, because no women would be interested in her because it only works on males apparently. Because
Uh-huh.
because homosexuality doesn't exist in nature or in the plant kingdom. Only males respond to the pheromones. Which there's of course 97, so they didn't really. Um,
Well, yeah.
some people were wondering if this was actually kind of somewhat queer coded a little bit because Joel Schumacher was gay,
Oh,
or
yeah.
at least, and because you got Batman, Bruce literally had to have like arm candy to pretend that he was going out with someone because people wouldn't trust him if he was single. Like that's weird,
Uh-huh.
Like so that kind of it was kind of weird
And and
watching
and
it because
and
I was
and,
like,
and you cast a supermodel in the role
yeah,
because it was
and I was
Elle
kind of
McPherson. Yeah.
yeah, Ellie McPherson, of course,
Elle. Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just like watching it again. I don't remember much from it when I first saw it, but like I thought that was weird. I'm like, why does he have to have someone like to pretend that he's in a relationship? And then I was like, oh, because this was from 1997,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so yeah, and there's also like at this thing, just a side note, there's a like annoying gossip columnist there. Um
Yeah, that's right.
I did not
remember
like
her.
her. Um
Yeah.
but she was like probably one of the least offensive things in this whole film. Um
True.
so like I said, Ivy's like interested in Freeze now. And while this is going on, um Dick, aka Robin, okay, just letting you know. There's one line in the movie, I can't remember what it was, but where Bruce calls him by his first name, and it sounded like he was calling him a dick.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
I was like, that had to have been intentional,
Yeah.
for the movie to keep its PG-13 rating or whatever.
I wish I would have wrote the line down, but it was just like he says the line and then he says dick, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Well, it's how he enunciated it.
yeah.
He's like, because like a subplot is that this whole movie, Robin is just being like whiny the whole time about how
Yeah,
Bruce doesn't trust him to make his own decisions, blah blah blah, that whole thing.
I was reading about this that that they felt like that they needed to make him kind of being like a whiny teenager because they wanted some more conflict in the movie. A movie where you have 3 villains, you needed more conflict.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like, I was like, the weird thing though about this though is that even though they had what you might consider too many villains, it didn't really feel like it was much in this particular movie. So that's like the one good thing I could say about it.
Oh, it's not really too many because mainly because Bane has no personality.
Yeah, he's just like there as muscle, like.
Yeah, if they would have given him like a personality of any kind, it would have felt overstuffed. Like some other like some Spider-Man movies and stuff. Like where you've got like what's that one? Spider-Man, is it Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, where you've got Venom and you've got Sandman, and then you got like previous villains from other movies all in there, and you're just like, okay. Well, I almost want everybody to just die. I don't really care.
Yeah. Well, you had the son of the Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Best friend.
Mm-hmm. So you had at least 3 major villains in there who were taking up screen time. But anywho, yeah. What's that?
That movie was not that good at all. Spider-Man 3.
I enjoyed it when I saw it in theaters, but watching it on repeat, I don't really enjoy it. So we got this situation where where we find out that Barbara has been participating in these drag races to raise money for Alfred, who she knows is dying of McGregor syndrome. Dun dun dun.
Oh,
yeah.
The same. Yeah. The same. Yeah.
And she's just like, at one point telling Dick that she's just like, I don't want him in this life of servitude where he's, being treated like living so badly and all this other stuff. It's like, do you see where he lives?
Yeah, and plus, too, you think after all these years, if he really wanted to leave, he could. Like, nobody's holding him there.
No, and if anybody knows the story of Bruce Wayne and his parents, you know that Alfred was a friend of theirs, who was also a servant of theirs, and he in their will they left Bruce to him. So he was the guardian. So
he was the guardian.
Yeah.
And also later incarnations, he was revealed that he himself was like super, like almost like a Batman figured his own way, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Like,
there is a really good storyline here. I will tell you this: Michael Gough, who plays Alfred, his performance in this is great. They actually gave the previous movies in this series. He didn't have a lot to do except for be like, here's your dinner, sir, and
right,
don't scratch the car, sir, and stuff like that.
Right, those throw lines.
But he does have a lot to do here, and there is a line where he says something like, "The only regret I have is that I wasn't out there with you guys fighting," or something like that. So it's like, yeah. So there's that. So it gives you a kind of hint to the fact of his life as a spy in the past or something, or at least his desire to do that, that if he was younger, he would have been or his life had different circumstances, maybe he would have been a vigilante too. Which he kind of is, anyways, because he's helping out the town's vigilante. And I want to tell you folks, kids, vigilantism is bad.
Bad.
Yes.
Don't do it.
No.
Don't become like Batman or Mr. Freeze.
Or do it. I don't care. Anyway, so
well, that's a mixed message. No.
You know what?
What?
It is and it isn't. Anyway, so
that's philosophical there.
So we've got she's participating in these drag races. I can't remember if it's in the deleted scenes or in the actual movie where we see Coolio among these people.
No, that was in the movie.
Okay, yeah, because I had a fever dream where I was like, was that Coolio? Yeah, anyways. So
he was the guy that was like placing the bets and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of orchestrating the whole thing.
Because then I read later that there was actually talk that Joel Schumacher, if he was able to direct another movie, wanted to have Coolio play Scarecrow.
Ooh. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyways, we find that out about her, that she wants to save Alfred. Batman and Robin and the police arrive at Freeze's lair because he had escaped from Arkham. And with the help of Ivy, who brings his clothes, his suit to him. I mean, so they find that out. They find out that Nora is. They go to his lair. Or, by the way, earlier there was a weird fucking scene where he's making all of his henchmen who are freezing their asses off. Sing along to the Snow Miser sequence from A Year Without Santa Claus.
Yeah, that was weird. And of course, he's smoking a cigar because it's Arnold. But
yeah,
how would he be able to light a cigar if he's freezing? You know what I mean?
It's a good question. And he's supposed to keep his body temperature at a certain temperature.
Yeah, so you think that a cigar would heat up his throat at least. Whatever, fine. Maybe it wasn't lit. Maybe he just likes the taste of it, in his mouth kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the one black person in the movie that I could see is like just one of like his henchmen, I guess.
Like she's only in like one scene.
That's it. And she just like flirts with them and wants to like.
And that's Vivica A. Fox too.
Yeah, which is like a really famous actress at that time.
Like just a few years later, after this movie came out, she was in Kill Bill with Uma Thurman.
Right. So her only role was like to be eye candy, and the Drake basically tried to seduce him, but he's like,
yeah,
I only have eyes for my wife type of thing. And
hmm
that was it. That was the whole thing. She was gone
yeah.
after that.
It makes you wonder if there was like some kind of plot for her that fell on the cutting room floor, or they just
Yeah,
thought,
it's possible.
we're gonna use an actress who's well known for this really small role. I mean, in the previous film, like sidekicks for like I think for Jim Carrey's Riddler, like one of them was Drew Barrymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you got like random like celebrities in these thankless roles, you know. So
Right, I forgot about that.
yeah,
It's-
I can't remember who the
maybe,
other one was, but they were both like bigger name actresses at the time, and you're just like,
yeah,
why are they in this movie? Um,
maybe it was just like a cheap ploy to be like, oh, so and so was in this movie, like
yeah,
gotta go see it because this famous actress or actor, whatever.
well
Or they kind of did that with the opposite though with Multiverse of Madness,
yeah,
where there was like all these rumors that Tom Cruise was gonna play like a multiverse Iron Man.
oh
And it was
yeah.
almost like they almost paid him to pretend that he might be in the movie, even though he wasn't. Like,
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I
oh
mean?
yeah.
So,
The other actress was these were two not Jim Carrey's um henchwomen. It was Two Faces, Tommy Lee Jones. It was Drew Barrymore and Debbie Mazar.
oh yeah, that's what,
Both like well respected actresses. Like okay.
yeah.
So anyways, so yeah, but back to this one where you just randomly have Vivica A. Fox in there, but they find Nora's chamber where she's frozen or whatever she is in some kind of stasis, and they find out that there's a that she has McGregor syndrome and all that stuff too, and hers is worse than Alfred's, and that he's been developing a cure of some sort for his wife, but he can only cure people at an earlier stage, which is coincidentally the stage that a person dying on their deathbed has.
Yeah, Alfred, interesting.
I don't get how it's an earlier stage, but he's almost dead.
Yeah, good point actually about that one. Maybe because he's a little bit older, maybe she could bounce back. I don't know.
Possibly.
I doubt they thought
they didn't probably think this through.
Yeah.
I don't think they thought a lot of things through when they were making this movie.
No, I don't.
Like I said, I think they started filming before the script was completed. So
yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're gonna build a set, and then we're gonna like write a script around it, basically.
Yeah, we're gonna make the toys, then build the set, and then
yes.
And it's like I swear, like it would have been a better movie if like randomly throughout the thing, like Chris O'Donnell as Robin like turns to the camera and says, you can get a toy version of this motorcycle for only $19.95 at Kmart, or something.
That would be like total like meta, like breaking the fourth wall, like before that was like a common thing, That's great.
Yeah. So the anyways, we find Nora. Ivy shows up and unplugs Nora because because she's like, I don't want to, fight you for the man that I'm all cold and bothered for. And the one who shakes my leaves, if you will. And the waters my plants. Oh wait, that's even grosser. So the
It reminds me of when they were talking about Batman and Robin were talking about, oh, got nice stems though. Yeah, nice buds too. Yeah, those are nice. Like, really? Yeah, he's okay. And
it's like my father said when he was a kid and he used to watch the Mickey Mouse show that Annette had a nice set of mouse ears. And so
Wow.
The we've got they're all trying to fight each other and blah blah blah. I don't know. I got bored at this point. What happens here?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so she pulls the plug on her, because she doesn't want, like you said, she wants to be with, Victor. And they hatch this plan together where, because she lies and tells him that Batman did it, and that like they should team up and just basically like destroy the whole world together. Because before Mr. Freeze was just gonna freeze Gotham for a little bit, or at least threaten to, because he wanted to hold the city at ransom so that they could basically give him like all the diamonds or money he needed to finish his cure. But now that he thinks his wife is dead, now he just wants revenge. So she's like, "Yeah, why don't you just freeze the whole world and kill everything?"
Yeah,
and then,
oh yeah. By the way, she makes him think that Batman was the one that unplugged and not.
Yeah,
yeah. So
and so like she's like, "Why don't you just freeze the whole world, and then we'll just be the only two people left alive, and then presumably we can repopulate the planet." She didn't say that, but that was the implication. Instead, as Reynolds would say, it's the implication. What else are you gonna do, right? You can't go anywhere because the world's frozen over. So, but technically, it's your choice, but you won't say no because of the implication. Anyway, that was her. That was like Ivy Reynolds.
Yes.
Her lot. And part of the reason why she liked him so much, because it's like stereotypical, because he was the one person that couldn't respond to her pheromone trick. So it was the whole like, oh, I want the guy who doesn't want me, trope type of thing, That's what they were going for, kind of, with that. So, but what I didn't understand though is that she wanted her plants that she had like engineered, I guess, with her poison ivy powers, whatever, that she wanted them to basically like take over the earth. But it's like, well, wait a minute though. How could plants grow in ice, for one thing? And how, if you're the last two people on Earth, that means that Mr. Freeze is going to die at some point when the ice is thawed out. So, I don't know, whatever. Their plans didn't seem to match up with each other. But, or maybe Ivy planned on killing them afterwards. I don't know, or something like that. But, yeah, whatever. And then, so that's like their thing. So, like, he's gonna freeze Gotham, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then they get by, like you said, Batgirl shows up now as Batgirl. I mean, Barbara shows up as Batgirl.
Because Alfred had already made her a suit and stuff, anticipating that she would break into his computer and then find out about the Batcave and want to go out and help fight.
Yeah, of course, like you do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Another thing about this is I liked about how dated some of this movie is. So at one point, Alfred records audio file, burns it onto a CD, and then he wants Barbara to find his long lost brother and somehow deliver it to him. Because you can't just send a file anymore. At that time, you put it to a CD and physically deliver it to someone, so that person could put it into their own CD player or computer and then hear the audio file.
Well, I think it had more than audio. I think because when she opened it up, it had like the description of the back history.
That's right. And
the batstory, as I call it. Oh wait, I just made
the
that
batstory. I like that.
Yeah.
So he wanted her to do that, but then she's got to beat Poison Ivy. So then we get into this weird like quasi debate of like what feminism really is. That was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's like, "Oh, you're using your feminine wiles to get what you want. That's so old school or whatever." And it's like, but now new feminism is like, hey, it doesn't really matter, like if you wanna have feminine wiles, that's cool too. But like back then it was like seen as like taboo, I guess. Like we can't do that anymore. So now you gotta be like a strong, woman who kicks ass or whatever. And she like kicks her into like a huge Venus flytrap, I guess, that presumably eats her, but later on we find out she's still alive. But so she beats Poison Ivy in like a 30-second fight scene, which was like, okay, like Poison Ivy's been in the movie since like the first 15 minutes, and now like that's it. You just kick her, and that's the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess. I mean, that was kind of anticlimactic, but whatever. And then, somehow there was like a recording device on Batgirl's belt or something that recorded her admitting that she
was the one that unplugged Nora.
So how would they know that Batgirl is going to be the one to defeat her? Whatever.
Well, I don't know if she recorded it or if she played it back or what. Who knows? It's
yeah,
hard.
who knows?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
There's a recording of her admitting that she's the one that did it. So then Batman shows Victor, the truth, and then he's like, "Oh my God, she's dead." And then Batman's like, "No, she's actually alive, and we're gonna send you to Arkham Asylum where you can just work on a cure as a prisoner." And then
like you do, but
you do have the ability to cure stage 1, and I have someone that really needs the cure. So then, oh my God. So this whole movie's full of ice puns, like, the Iceman cometh, and,
yeah,
don't mean to freeze you out, and, these kind of things. But then he makes a doctor pun, because it's not enough to do, like, ice puns. You also need to have doctor puns thrown in because he's a doctor. So he gives
I used to see him, Dr. Puns. He was a good guy.
Dr. Puns, he was a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Good pediatrician. Anyway, but nice guy. But whatever, so he has like these 2 vials that are like blue that's supposed to cure stage 1 McGregor's syndrome.
Yeah.
And he says, "Take 2 and call me in the morning."
Yep.
And I remember that when I first saw it. That line stuck with me all these decades later.
Yes.
I forgot most of the movie, but I remember that one part where he's laying down and he goes, "Take 2 and call me in the morning." Like,
when I heard it, it just reminded me of the bad joke I wrote as an 8-year-old.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
What did God tell Moses when he gave him the 10 Commandments?
What?
Take these 2 tablets and call me in the morning.
That's actually pretty good, though.
Oh, I know. For an 8-year-old. Yeah.
That's actually pretty good, though.
But yeah, so anyways, they end up going back and they cure Alfred. And
literally on death's door.
Yeah.
Like,
and he comes out and he's all cool, and then they basically find out that for some odd reason, which I don't understand how this prison system works in Gotham, they put Ivy in the same cell as Freeze.
Which, that's weird.
Pretty sure they have like separate cells for men and women. That's just
usually do that for male and female.
Yeah.
Especially like at an Arkham, which is like for like the criminally insane. That's the other thing too. So
I mean, they might have a similar common area or something, but even then, they usually will rotate like who's going to be able to be out in the common area.
They usually do, but again, never. But like that's the other thing. So why is it always all the villains get sent to Arkham Asylum, which is supposed to be for like insane people? Like every villain,
because most of the villains are insane.
But it doesn't make any sense because like you could be a villain and still have like your thoughts are still clear, and like for example, Bane in The Dark Knight Rises was not insane.
There is a penitentiary nearby too, I believe.
Okay.
So that I've in certain adaptations of Batman, there's jails and penitentiaries and stuff too. So
like in Arrow, they send them to what was it called? I forgot the name of it. Not Iron Heights. There's one.
Well, there's Iron Heights, and then there's like what was the other one?
Argus, right?
Argus. No, Argus is like that's like an organization, like a government organization, kind of like Homeland Security or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but Iron Heights is one of them that is in DC that they use to send people to sometimes. Yeah. But anyways, and then they end the movie with Ivy in the cell with him, and then Alfred gets the cure, and Bruce and Dick agree to let Barbara join their fighting team, and then you have this really cheesy thing where they're all running out at the end of the thing, like they're about to go on to their next adventure that never comes.
Yeah, because they didn't make a fifth one. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like, all right, now we got a trio, which is awesome because you got the trio and Harry Potter, and all these. We're gonna get something great. It's coming. Nothing. Which is another interesting thing. So Barbara / Batgirl, so stoked about her superior version of feminism to Poison Ivy. Because Poison Ivy quote only uses her feminine wiles. Let's see here. What did Poison Ivy accomplish though? So she used her quote feminine wiles according to Barbara. That's her words, not mine. So don't come at me.
Yeah.
Me saying what she said. I'm just quoting her. But okay, so Poison Ivy almost accomplished her goal of taking over the entire world, killing everyone, and having her plants basically become like the new main species of the world. What did you accomplish? You kicked someone into a Venus flytrap. Oh, wow. And then on the same token of that, now Victor gets to exact his revenge on a female cellmate, and he gets a redemption story to go cure his wife while he's killing her, seeking revenge on his cellmate. But she doesn't get a redemption arc. Okay, well, that seems pretty sexist there, Barbara. But whatever, no matter. Maybe you learn that in your academic, snobby schools in Britain or something like that. But hey, whatever floats your boat, Barbara. I guess.
Yep.
You fucking hypocrite. But
so
sorry. So that's the movie, right? That's it.
Yeah. I got a question.
We obviously forgot a few things, but
yeah,
whatever.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up here, I got a question for you. Who's your favorite Batman? Live action or animated, either way.
Well, let's see here. Oh man, it's a cross between 3 actually. So Michael Keaton's probably number 1. Christian
Bale.
Christian Bale? Sorry,
yeah.
Christopher Nolan, one who directed it. Christian Bale's probably I don't know, but maybe 2. But interesting. So actually, I really like the dude who played Batman in the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing. The dude that did the voice acting.
Oh yeah, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, Kevin. He also passed away recently.
Yeah, he just passed away. Yeah.
But I really liked him, even though he was only in 1 episode of that. I really his version.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite. I mean, yeah,
like a bad Batman, like one who's gone too far, like kind of thing.
He's my favorite because I consider the animated series the best adaptation of Batman. Period.
That's
and I also
great.
love Batman Beyond and him as Bruce on that. With Will Friedle as a Batman, Terry McGinnis, and that's good too. Eric from Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
But so I did a poll on our podcast Facebook group to find out who our listeners' favorite Batman or Batmen are. Number 1 at 31% is Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Number 2 at 26 is Kevin Conroy.
Okay.
At 18% we have Christian Bale.
So nobody voted for Val Kilmer.
I'm coming back here. We got Adam West at 11.
Okay.
We've got other at 4%. So I just put other as a choice. At 3% and 2%, which I don't get how they decide which is 3 and which is 2 because they both have 2 votes. So these are all 2 votes each. We got Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson.
That's right. I forgot about Ben Affleck.
Yeah. So
Batman,
so those are some because somehow. Oh no! Wait. Oh, Ben Affleck's got 3 votes. And so he's at 3%. Let me look at the votes here.
I did like him as Batman.
Clooney somehow has 3% as well, but he's only got 2 votes.
You know what?
I don't know how they break this down.
So how quickly people voted for them, maybe.
And like,
Like maybe it's
yeah,
like you know.
but somehow, like, oh, I guess never mind. Okay, so we got 2%. Because like Pattinson's got 2 votes and he's got 2%, and Kilmer has 1 vote and he's got 2%. I'm not really understanding the percentages here, but anyways, the clear winners are Keaton and Conroy,
Yeah.
with Bale in third and West in fourth. So,
Interesting.
but Clooney surprisingly got 2 votes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, he's not that bad of a Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
No, I think
movie.
I think he was a better Bruce Wayne than he was a Batman.
Yeah.
I say the same thing about Kilmer as well too. So that's just me.
Yeah.
But I really think Keaton encompassed both of them really well as far as live action goes. Christian Bale was a really good Bruce Wayne, not necessarily a good Batman. I mean, he did the action parts and everything, but his Batman voice was horrible. I love the Nolan movies, but his you know.
I know, like he's got like a cold. You got gate. You were kicked out of a gate. You're a violent psychopath.
You're just a guy wearing hockey pads. Like,
when he's fighting Bane, he's like,
yeah,
you were kicked out of a game. Like, sorry, I'm coughing just from talking.
Oh, I know, it's hard to do. I can't understand how I can't understand how Bale did that. You know, so
I know it's crazy, man. But yeah, that version of Bane, man, I love that fight scene. There's no music. All you hear is the waterfall from like the sewers. And it's just like two guys duking it out, man. And like Bane's voice, I love like how like Bane was almost like an actor within the movie itself, like how he enunciated certain words, like when he's fighting them, and he does that whole thing where Batman turns the light off, and he's like, "Oh, you think?" I know it's like a cliche meme, like, "Oh, you think darkness is your ally?" But like the whole monologue where he's like,
"Oh yeah,
I didn't see the light until I was already a man," and then he's like, "Until then it was only blinding." Like, and the way he says blinding, he immediately just grabs his bro and just beats him up again. Like,
interesting. Maybe someday down the road we can do a Batman like review of all the different Batman movies.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, if you guys want us to do that, message me at mike@cullenpark.com. That would be great. Any final thoughts on Batman and Robin before we wrap things up here?
I would just say give it a shot. I mean, like it's funny to make fun of, and it's funny to enjoy. Like, really, I like Poison Ivy a lot in this movie. It could just be memories of having a crush on her when I was like 13. Maybe that's up a little bit, but like, because she was like really hot item.
Oh yeah.
No, but like she was. I mean,
I dated a girl for a short time that reminded me a lot of her.
Oh wow.
Looked very similar, so it kind of was a weird thing. I mean, and by a short time, I mean like weeks. So
yeah, but,
yeah,
so yeah, it was like I really like. I didn't like hate it as like after I read the articles about it, it kind of like made me appreciate what I had just watched like a day before or 2 days before. So yeah, I would just say come into it expecting it to be corny, and you might actually enjoy it without like wishing that it would be something other than what it is, kind of thing. Because I think that's where the disappointment comes in, for thinking it should be something else, and then but if you just come into it knowing that it's going to be stupid, you might actually enjoy it a little bit. Like especially with Bane wearing that ridiculous hat as he's driving the limousine. That's funny. I mean, come on, it's objectively funny.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I give the movie a 1.5 out of 5 stars, but it's still,
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean,
combined, you get it like 3 out of 5.
I mean, my main thing about liking the movie in the first place was the fact that Alicia Silverstone and Uma Thurman were in it. I'll admit that, because I had a crush on both of them at the time. So yeah. Probably still do, but yeah. Anyways, so speaking of movies from this era, let us know on our Facebook page, if you can, what your favorite movie from the 90s was, because I've got a project that I'm working on right now where I'm going to be revisiting some films from the 90s. So let us know. Also, and that's on our Facebook, join our group, like it, or whatever you kids do on there, and make sure you rate our podcast, give us a 5-star on Apple, subscribe wherever you're listening to this right now, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also check out our TeePublic, our Patreon, our Gobbledygook, and our Whoozy Whatsits, and are these things?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm just checking.
Patreon's real.
For some odd reason, it's on my script here.
Oh, no. Patreon's real.
Patreon is.
Yeah.
And but Whoozy Whatsits not?
Not yet. Maybe if you create it, maybe it will be.
What about TikTok? Is that real?
Yeah, it is real. I don't use it, but it is real.
Okay, we have one. I don't use it much, but we have one. And we do have we have one of those nitwits, Twitters. And it's run by a nitwit. I'm sorry. But anyways, I'm probably closing it soon though, so don't look for anything there really.
Yeah.
Anyways, but until next time, folks, remember to tune in. Same bat time. Same bat channel.
Oh.
And be good to each other. Remember that we love you. And bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.